one of those just one step in great detail tutorials. Today's step is the pullback. Now, this is one of those steps that when people start taking tap, they see it, and it's one of those steps that stress them out right away. I mean, T'Challa doesn't look very stressed out, but it's okay. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this in the footage when I come down and I'm gonna cut this. So, the pullback is one of those steps that people see it, they're like, oh, those look so hard, I'm never gonna be able to do it, and then they get really, really stressed out about it, and it becomes this stressor. And I see it with my college students all the time. They're just like, pullbacks, no, I can't. And I'm like, but yes, you can. And it's all about how you think about pullbacks. It's all about how you approach pullbacks. I used to teach pullbacks very, very differently from the way that I do now. And I used to just say, okay, well, you rock back, you pick up your feet, you try for all 4 sounds, and then just keep trying. Then I realized that a pullback is actually the sum of its parts. It is not a whole thing, or you shouldn't look at it like it's a whole thing when you're first learning it. See it, T'Challa? Thanks for spending some time with me. If you look at it as the sum of a bunch of parts, it's a lot easier for your feet to get, it's a lot easier for your brain to get, and so that's what we're gonna do today. So, a pullback. Okay, so a pullback is a sum of 3 parts. The final product consists of 3 parts, is basically what I'm trying to say, but I've been teaching math all day, so you're gonna get some math. So, the first part is actually so simple. It doesn't look that way when you look at somebody just do a pullback, but it's actually really, really simple. All you're gonna do is put your weight back into your hips and go spank. So all you do, because we're just learning pullbacks according to this video. This is for people that are just learning pullbacks or need a nice review. So we're gonna be flat-footed for this video. I can do another video where we're doing pullbacks from just the toe taps. But for today, we're flat-footed. So you're here, you plie, you put all of your weight back. Now if you might have noticed I skewed my weight a little bit to the left. You'll understand why in a second. Actually, you can just understand why because I'm about to pick up my right foot. So my weight has to be a little skewed into the right hip, or the left hip. So you spank your right foot, just like that, and then you end up on your left foot. So all your weight back into your heel, be able to lift your toe just a little bit, and then spank. That's part 1. Very, very simple. Haven't even left the ground yet. So, part 1, bam. Right foot does a spank. Part 2, this is where it gets a little tricky. So we're gonna do a pickup. Basically, I also call this a pull switch. And that's not really a technical term, it's just how I say it to my students that they understand exactly what they need to do. You are gonna pull on the left foot and switch your weight to land on the right foot. So you put all of your weight into the back of your heel and all of your weight into your left hip and kind of be able to manipulate that toe. And what you're going to do is pull it, and instead of doing a single-footed pullback or anything, you're going to actually land on your right foot. So, that's the way that it's done. You're here, you rock back, you clip the floor, and then you switch your weight to the other foot. Let's work on this for a little bit. This is the most crucial part of the pullback. So one more time, standing on your left foot, rock back, ready, go. And you should be able to get that sound on the way back. And that's all about rocking into the back of your hip and being able to lift that toe just a little. So what you don't want to do is be here right before you go. You're not going to be like, okay, I'm going to pull switch, because you have no power from here. You really need to be able to plie, rock back, but I'm not starting there. That's an on the way back kind of thing. Plie as I go back. Once my weight is far enough, pull switch. So let's try that one more time. Your plie, all your weight goes into your left hip, rock it back, and go. All right, that's part 2. Let's put part 1 and part 2 together. So you've got part 1, spank. Part 2, pull switch. Part 3, the easiest part of all, step. Make sure you put all of your weight on that last foot. And that is each part of a pullback. And you're probably thinking, no, it's little, it's quick, it's so hard, that can't be it. But it is. And the reason I teach it in those 3 very, very separate parts is because what makes a pullback sound good versus bad is a separation of sounds. Because if you just go, it did all 4 sounds, but I did them at the same time. But when you separate your sounds, bam, that sounds nice. Da, 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 da. Go a little faster, but you still have to separate your sounds. Da, da, da. It's really important that you separate every sound. And in order to do that, I've learning it as 3 separate things helps to separate the sound. You're not just like rocking back and then pulling your feet at different times, hoping, wishing, praying, and believing in fairies that you're going to get all 4 sounds. No, you methodically know exactly how to get all 4 sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you know how to do that nice and slow, and you really get that like pull switch, once you get that like every time, then you can start taking this and making it faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. Then you make it even faster. Da, 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 da. I like to practice separation of sounds using the Addams Family theme, which is the same theme that I use in my cramp roll video. Because you can do the exact same thing with this. But you can't do that unless you know how to separate all the sounds. And the only way to do that is to treat it as if each individual sound is its own entity. So, when it comes to these, the most important thing to remember is there are 3 parts. 1, 2, step. And then you put all your weight here so that your right foot's free again, and you can go again. And we usually start with ball change. That's the usual prep for a pullback, but if you know my choreography, you know I'm not that nice. So we go ball, change, your right foot's ready to go. And that's how you break down a pullback. And again, the reason why I teach it that way is so that people, as they learn it, are guaranteed to get all 4 sounds every single time. Because the worst thing is when you're like, pullback's coming up in the choreography, and pullback's coming up in the choreography, and then you hope that you get it, but something is amiss, your weight wasn't in exactly the right place, so you just go da-da-da, and then it's done. But if you separate all your sounds and you go, oh, a pullback's coming, it's 1, 2, 3, done. You know that you're gonna get all 4 sounds every single time. So let's do it one more time, all together. Ready? We're gonna go da, 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 da. 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull, pull, switch, step. Good. And all you have to do is try it on the other leg to see if you can do it on the other leg. Wow, that was silly. So I can't do it on my other leg right now, if you might have noticed this wonderful, beautiful little thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to face the front so that my legs are mirrored. And you guys are going to try it on the left foot. So your left foot pulls first. You're going to pull switch from right to left. Try it. And then you step with the right foot. Now here is where my top students get some flack from me. Because we do pullbacks and then I say, okay, do it on the left. And then they go, no, I can't, it's the left. And then they panic and freak out. Apparently like a 17th century damsel in distress, but whatever. And then I kind of have to remind them, actually your left foot should be your better side if you're righty. And they're like, what? No way. Think dominant foot, which foot do you do the hard part with? The left. So if you're gonna switch feet, you start on the left, you pull left. Which foot are you doing the hard part with? The right. So technically, with separated sounds, your left pullback should be stronger than your right because your right foot is doing the hard part. Unless you're left foot dominant, then it's switched. But a lot of dancers are right foot dominant. We have another visitor. Well, hello. So, let's do left a couple times. Ready? 5. We're starting to go da, 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 da. 5, 5, 6, 7, go. Left, right, left. All right, try one more time. 5, 6, 7, go. Pull, switch. All right, so as you're working on this, I want to tell you that if you get it right even once, today's a good day. It's a great thing to try something new and then get it right even once. Another way that today's a good day is if you got even this much better. If you got even a little bit better at this, or if you saw pullbacks in a different way, because maybe this way that I teach them is weird, I don't know, but what I've learned is that it's effective. So I wanted to share that with you guys today. So I hope that you enjoyed learning pullbacks from me. This is just the basic tutorial of the different parts. I can do a much more advanced tutorial of the different types of pullbacks later on, but for today, beginner, basic step, the pullback. Thank you guys so much for dancing with me today.